Okay. Under proportion. Well, actually, word problems. Under word problems. We are specifically looking at, and these are all related, specifically using proportions. Proportions to solve word problems. And again, we talk about what proportional means. Proportional means that things get bigger kind of on an equal basis, like when you blow up a balloon. A balloon blows up proportionately, because when you blow up a balloon, one side doesn't just stay flat and the other side goes out. It's kind of, well, unless maybe you get some sort of strange balloon, but when you blow up a balloon, everything gets up kind of evenly. So here is, when you see ratio, the word ratio or whatever, that means the same thing as proportions. So here is example number 1 here. The ratio of salamanders to frogs. Ratio of salamanders, we'll abbreviate, to frogs was 5 to 7. God bless you. If there were 20 salamanders, if there were 20 salamanders, how many frogs? How many frogs? So when you come up with some sort of a ratio sort of comparison there, you are going to make a ratio box, and we've done this before. A proportion box, it's all the same thing, where you have your ratio, you have your actual, you have what you're comparing, and I'm comparing salamanders to frogs, and you just fill in the box, and you're going to make an equal proportion, equal ratio, equal fractions, whatever you want to call it there. You know that there are 5 salamanders, it's salamanders to frogs, so 5 salamanders to 7 frogs. This is almost too easy. If there were 20 salamanders, how many frogs were there? And that is the exact same thing as equal fractions, equal ratios, equal proportions. I'm going to write it out here. I don't necessarily say that you have to, but 5 over 7 has to equal 20 over n. Easiest way to do that is to what? Grace? In this case, no. You can always cross multiply, but the easiest way to do this one is, I'm just looking to help you out here. Grace said you could cross multiply, and that is always a way you can do it. 5 times n equals 7 times 20, which is 140. Divide by 5, which we just learned there. N is going to equal, if you do the math, I believe 28. But a quicker, simpler way, in this case, that works, it doesn't always work, is, Lady Kabarik?
Multiply 5 times 4, which equals 3.
Right. You're making equal fractions. How do you go from 5 to 20? You just multiply by 4, so you can multiply the 7 by 4 and get 28 as well. Nothing wrong with doing it this way, Grace, or if you really want to, and you can always do it that way, but I would certainly look for the easiest way. You could have done it right here. You could have said, oh, 5 times 4 is 20, so 7 times 4 is 28. You could have just done it like that as well. As long as I see that ratio box, everybody's pretty happy, mostly me. Now, here's another example where maybe it isn't quite as obvious. Write this one down. If 3 sacks of concrete make 12 feet of sidewalk, 3 sacks make 12 feet of sidewalk, comma, how much, here's one, how many sacks, this one is a good one, how many sacks to make 40 feet of sidewalk? And hopefully you can see, now notice it doesn't use the word ratio or proportion or any of that, but hopefully you can see that this is proportional. If 3 sacks make 12 feet, that's the ratio you're using. It's like when you make cookies. If 3 eggs make a dozen cookies, you know, that's the ratio you're using. 3 sacks, you are comparing sacks to feet of concrete or feet of sidewalk. If 3 sacks make 12 feet, that's my ratio, my proportion. How many sacks, I don't know how many sacks it's going to take to make 40 feet. Now Grace, I'm going to give you another shot at this one. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, oh, what times 12 is 40? I have no idea. Doesn't go in there evenly. So, then, Grace, what do I have to do? Sure. I'm going to do it, and then I'll see if there's an easier way to do it. Cross multiply means you take 12 times n, and that equals 3 times 40. Anybody do 3 times 40 in your head? Sure. 12 times what number is 120? N equals what? 10 sacks of concrete. Would there have been an easier way to do this? Keith.
Reduce the 3
Another thing you could look at, and again, you don't have to do this, but it does make it easier. If this ratio can be reduced, sometimes it's easier to do that. 3 goes into both of them. If 3 sacks of concrete make 12 feet, then 1 sack of concrete is going to make 4 feet. And you could use this fraction or this ratio in your thing here. 4 times what number is 40? 10. 1 times 10 is 10. Okay. So there's always, math always has, you know, a couple of different avenues to which it can be. How about this last one here? One last one. Ratio of DVDs to CDs. DVD to CDs was 5. 5 to 4 or 4 to 5? 5 to 4. 5 to 4. If you have 60 CDs, if you have 60 CDs, comma, how many DVDs would you have? And I will give you a second to do that on your own merry little way. 5 to 4, 60, ratio box, proportion box, equal fraction box, whatever you want to call it.